Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About, a series spotting leaders, authors, artists, marketers, creators, and entrepreneurs sharing tips and expert advice on business, media, technology, and frankly, life itself. I'm your host, Cynthia Nelson, three-time entrepreneur, Forbes contributor, investor, and advisor. Today, we're talking to Wing Ngan, designer, artist, and original cats and sprite creator. Now, I want to give you a little background on this one. Not only have 200 million kids seen this design around the world, yes, 200 million, but over 500,000 projects a day are created on the Scratch platform, and the cat and his sprite friends play an important role in the creativity of kids worldwide. Wing, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I want to go back and actually let kids know and people that are following, how you really started, how you became a designer and a graphic artist. What's your background?
Well, thank you first for having me in your show. And you know, I was born and grew up in Hong Kong, and I loved to draw when I was a little kid. And I came to America when I was 17. When I was a junior, senior in high school, I need to think about college. I didn't know what I want to do, but I know I want to do something with art. So with a traditional Asian parents, it is actually very hard to convince them to let me go to an art school because they didn't know if there's an actual career, if it is looking
Yeah.
promising.
Right.
So what I did was I lied to my father that I want to be an architect. He was a typical, Asian parents. He worked as a chef in a Chinese restaurant, so he came home after work very tired. He was watching TV, and I thought that was the best time that, he was tired. So I just asked him, I want to go to art college, and I want to be an architect. And architect sounds like a very promising career for him. So I got the green light. So when I was at Mass Art, so that the art college that I went to, and I thought I was going to study illustration because I love to draw so much. But I got a really good grade in some design classes in the first year, and I was so nervous that I wasn't being able to graduate. So I went to design major instead. And I actually fell in love with graphic design. I enjoy doing, being a graphic designer a lot.
It's awesome. What inspired you to create the Scratch Cat? And were you wanting to help kids when they first interacted with it? How did it come about? I
Mhm.
know you have some illustrations. I'm sorry for people on the pod that can't see it, but you can see it in the YouTube video. Can you show us some of those early illustrations and how you actually started creating the cat that is now world famous?
Yeah, yeah. I guess I can talk about them first, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, as I finish talking this phase, and I can share my screen on that one. So yeah, so I watch a lot of Japanese anime and American cartoon, like Popeye and Garfield and all that. When I was a kid. So I guess my inspiration were coming from there. And when I was first sketching the Scratch Cat, I was actually drawing some really angry, spiky looking creature. So we ran through many rounds of revision when I was, first working on the Scratch Cat sketches. So the 2 to 3 initial round, it looking more like, an imaginary creature, and few of them look like an actual cat, but more monster looking. So and when I was working on this, I really want the kids to feel like they can relate themselves to the characters. And I guess most importantly is to have fun and be creative and with them, with the characters.
It's awesome. You want to
Okay.
show a couple of the versions? I saw them earlier, everybody, and they're actually really funny.
Yes,
The first
yes,
versions.
yes, yes, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
and you
just
you were working with Mitch also,
yeah,
Resnick
yeah,
at MIT in the lab to like create this whole
yes.
creature cat that
Mhm.
now has become, like I said, so world famous.
Yeah, at first when we were working on it, we didn't know what we were looking for. We were just, he gave me so much freedom, and there was a lot of trust in that process. So yeah, I find it. Okay, and I'm just gonna place it in the screen properly. Give me a sec, and I am going to click on the share button. Okay, can you
Yep,
allow me to
I did.
share? Yeah.
Yep,
Okay. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
I
Yes.
can see it now. Oh wow,
Okay.
lot of doodles.
Yes, yes. This is funny. I'm surprised I saved this. This is actually my little um note template that I made before I go to the meeting. And after the meeting, I type it up so that I have, some information to work on. So these are all the doodling that I made. None of this really get into the design presentation, but I, that is my process. I just keep exploring and just keep trying. And this is actually the backside of that piece of like letter size paper. Um, and I thought this is the sprite that ended up being used. Yeah, so this is like my random exploration, and let me show you. This is the actual very first design presentation that I brought in and show Mitchell and the team. And they look at this and then they make reaction to them. And yeah, so we like we circle up, we mark on this piece of paper, and Mitchell react positively. Maybe this little cat looking, or maybe this little angry spiky creature. And as you can see, they circle up this guy here. Later on become the sprite that we all know. And then he asked me to try like different expression and
Mm-hmm.
with legs. They want to see it with the legs or without the legs,
Mm-hmm.
with a body or without the body. They were we were circling things like maybe this guy, maybe this one-eye aliens creature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so but ended up after the meeting, these are the two that we felt that look more promising. And as we move along, this is like the second round, and I try many different variation. As you can see, no legs, no no arms, no legs,
Yeah,
all
legs.
kind of yeah, and maybe a little body, but they just don't feel right to them.
Right.
And I think that this is like round three with more color variation. So
So very much like any kind of animators or graphic design, it's a process, right? You back and forth with the client, in this case, Mitch Resnick and his team at MIT, but you can see that how they're starting to come to life.
it is. And the funny thing is, when we first got started, we really didn't know what we want. And it is like a journey of discovery.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to go through that journey with them. We just have to keep a really open mind. So after this three round of exploration, we just not hitting the mark at
Mm-hmm.
all. We want a scratch cat. And I remember, I think Mitchell finally gave the command and suggestion. And he said, let's do something, let's try to draw something that is more like a cat
Mm-hmm.
creature. So, forget about all this abstract, like spiky aliens looking imagination, design. Then I felt like I wasn't being frustrated, but I was just, trying to be more simple and just give him some really rough pencil sketches.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the actual pencil sketches that I show him, because I felt like, this kind of design originally when I was first working on it was too refined.
Mm-hmm.
I was being really careful with, um, the line weight and everything. And I just gave up all that and just really focusing on, coming up with promising looking design. And if you can see the screen here,
Yep.
let me verbally describe it, what's going on in here. So this is a really rough almost like doodle style pencil sketches on just a random, letter size white paper, and I just scanned it in. So a lot of like four-legged cat,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell this is a cat. Some with, a little smile face, some don't, and a big eye, and one little, two-leg walking,
Mm-hmm.
grumpy looking cat in the corner. I guess I was just, I was, I, I was being a bit reserved about that, two-leg walking cat.
Right.
Maybe I was maybe thinking the four-legged one is the more promising looking. I even give it like a really grumpy looking face, kind of hiding. But that's the one. That is the one that catch Mitchell's eye, and he see potential in that grumpy looking two-legged, walking cat. And then I start, working, and I took that and I keep exploring. And as you can see, I just switched to the next slide here.
Right.
You can tell this is the scratch cat that we all see today, with
Right.
that big smile on the face. And yeah, and that's how it, come to life. And I felt like this exploration is just so much fun. Yeah.
How long did it take from the beginning to getting to where we are now? I know you have a slide on what it looks like today, but what was the
Mhm.
length of the process?
Wow, I don't remember exactly how long, but I guess that takes at least a month and a half.
Yeah.
Because as you can imagine, starting from nothing,
Right.
to pencil sketches to the first round, that I remember that took us at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there was like a quick turnaround every week, like a weekly update. So from the very first initial meeting to the final design, that was about a month and a half, I would say.
It's really awesome. Can we see the final cat?
Of course, yes, that's the final scratch cat right there.
And you designed the logo as well.
No, I did not
Oh, I thought
actually.
you did.
No, no, I did not. Yeah, it was so many years ago. There was some confusion on my mind too. Yeah, yeah. I think Mitchell's team came up with the logo.
It's really awesome though. I mean, what does it make you feel like now, looking back and seeing, it's in the cat's
Mhm.
in the museum at MIT, like it's everywhere, right? And
Yeah.
kids use it all the time. How does it make you feel?
Mhm.
This is like historical work.
Wow, I to be honest, I didn't know um it went so popular until I was invited on the stage to be a guest appearance on one of the I think it's called the Scratch Day,
Mm-hmm.
and there was the debut of the four sprites, when they were debuts at the Scratch Day. And when I saw all the crowd, and yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, it went viral, and it actually, most importantly, it helps a lot of kids and educator, to be creative. And I was just so happy, that it was a successful character, and it did the job.
Yeah, and I know kids use the scratch cat and they make it do all kinds of things. I mean, we put it
Yeah.
in party hats and
Yes.
it's got its Halloween. It had Halloween outfits on. It has its
Yes.
Santa Claus and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. Like it's being used all kinds of different ways on products that, we produce for the store. But more
Mm,
importantly, with kids, they're able to actually use the character, kind of
mm,
break it apart, make it do different things, jumping, hopping, playing
mm,
games as part of a game. The remixes on this particular image are
mm.
kind of endless. I think because it's simple design,
Yes.
and it's relatable for kids of all ages. I mean, you have scratchers that are in college and after college and they love the cat. There's still such an affinity to part of their own history of growing up with the cat on Scratch and using it and having it be like the first kind of image that they see and character that they can play with. you've also designed a bunch of new sprites for us, and will continue to be designing those too. Um, what is your kind of process? Is it the same when we kind of ask for sprites? Like, is it the same kind of guiding principles when coming up with new characters for the platform?
Yeah, it's all different when I was designing the sprite versus designing the scratch cat. Um, and I was just trying to have fun
Hmm.
because it is such a precious opportunity to work on this project. And like I said, when I was working with Mitchell and his team, they gave me lots and lots of freedom, and I really appreciate all that. And there was a lot of trust in the process. And when I was working on the sprite design, I was just, first I think I was using like proportion and some
Hmm.
exaggeration
Hmm.
trick so that, like I like drawing character with a bigger head and a tinier body. So
Hmm.
that's kind of contrast. I think it kind of, brings some interest into the character. And I felt like maybe trying to inject like a personality into each of the character by giving them some, facial expression. And then I'm trying to imagine, oh, if such and such has such personality, they would do such and such posture and things.
Right, right.
So the shapes start to emerge, once I develop in that direction.
It's really great. Wing, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your journey with Mitch and the team at MIT and our lovely cat that, again, globally, kids around the world, this is what they see. And
Mhm.
I love the whole, they gave you the trust and the freedom
Mm.
to come up with and imagine what this character could be. It's really a testament to the working relationship that you have with them and to, obviously your ability as well. But thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Keep scratching.
Yes, absolutely.